Hello everybody, Rob here, and boy do I have a story for you. As you saw in my last video, I just finished my slat bed, the bed that turns from a bench, a seating bench, into a pull-out bed. My wife said that the mattresses don't feel or look very comfortable, and she said she doesn't think I'll ever sleep on them. I said, bet you I do. She said, bet you don't. I said, bet you I can sleep on them tonight. She says, bet you can't. My wife and I are a little bit competitive, and so we just shook hands, and the bet is that I will not be able to stay in the van tonight in our driveway from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. for 8 straight hours. As you can see, it's about 10 minutes until 10 p.m. I've just spent the last 15 minutes grabbing all my electronics, my GoPro, my chargers, my battery, all the stuff that I would normally take with me if I were to go camp, which I have never actually done, nor have I ever slept in the van before. So this will be an experience for everybody. Now I've just got to grab some pillows, a blanket, and go lock myself inside my van for the next 8 hours. Wish me luck. See you in the morning. It is currently 10:01 p.m. and the first thing I've got to do in this van is get some light going. Now, I bought a 6-pack of these lights, which if I point it will blind the camera. These are LED puck LED lights that are also magnetic. Never used them in here before. I can tell you that there's a button on the side. It's touch sensitive, and so you could go through these 3 different colors or turn them back off, and also if you hold it down we can adjust the intensity. So I can turn these, that's not great for filming, that's a little better, we'll get it, but I should be able to attach that to the ceiling of the van. That's a little bit better, and the good news is I brought 3 more of those with me. Now, I do have a windshield screen for the front windshield, and I don't know, you probably cannot see that, but I would say it covers 85% of the front windshield. It's not great, so I'm sure at some point my van is just going to be glowing in the middle of the night, so I'll have to turn these lights down or off, obviously off, when I go to sleep. Everything else I have in here so far is a frickin' mess. So let's get the lights set up first. The other thing I could tell you is right now it's a solid 80 degrees in this van. It's 81 degrees outside right now. And one of my first van projects was installing a Max Air fan, which I've never actually run while I was inside the van. I've got a power source in here. We got a lot of stuff, so let's start getting some stuff set up. So I now have 4 lights set up in here. I can tell you from outside this thing probably looks like a UFO parked in my driveway, so I will not be keeping it this bright for long. But one of the things I want to show you is the battery. Now, I purchased this battery off of Amazon less than a year ago. It failed within 6 months, and it's not 100% reliable. I don't know if it's going to run tonight. If it doesn't, then I'm definitely going to be in the market for a new solar generator, and I'm hoping that one of these companies takes pity on me and will let me review one, because I would love to review one and see how it works out in this van. I do sleep with a CPAP machine, so that's the main reason why I had to bring the battery out here. If the battery does fail, I'll probably have to run an extension cord out here, which would break the rules and I would lose the bet. The bet is that I can be self-sufficient in the van for 8 hours, so I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope that this battery works out. The reason I'm pressing buttons on the Max Air fan and not using the remote is because the batteries are dead. A bet's a bet, so I did not go back in the house to get batteries. On my Fakery battery here, you can see that the Max Air fan on this setting is using about 21 watts of power.
With the fan running and the lights on, I hopped outside the van for just a moment to see how things looked and sounded from the outside. Now, as you can see, I'm pretty far away from my neighbors, and I'm not really bothering anybody here, but I was surprised to see how little you could actually see inside the van. Obviously, if I were doing a real stealth camp, I would block the windows out a little better. But even from the end of my driveway, you can see you really can't tell anyone's in the van at all.
So I've got everything set up. This is my tablet. Normally this tablet stays by the side of my bed. And I watch shows and I fall asleep. So that's what I plan on doing tonight. I have some Bluetooth earbuds, which I probably won't use. Like I said, I really kind of overpacked on this thing. I told you I got the protein bar. I got a bottle of water. There's my CPAP. We're hooked up to the Fakery battery. That's the off-brand Jackery. We are now pulling 34 watts. I've cranked the max air fan all the way up to 10. It is sucking air out, and I have the front windows, I can't really see them, but I have the front windows cracked. I have some little plastic air vents that go over the windows, so I have those cracked. I would say I don't feel much of a breeze at all, and I think it's going to be a hot, sweaty night. I'm actually considering turning the fan to blow in, but I know that will be noisier for recording purposes, so for right now, I'm going to leave it like that. What I'm doing right now is organizing stuff. I threw a bunch of crap into a trick-or-treat bucket. And so I threw a bunch of extra cables that I probably don't need, some chargers. It's not like I'm going to live out here the rest of my life. I'm going to be out here for 8 hours. So my phone will last, my tablet will last. All those things will be okay, but just in case I threw some stuff out here. So I actually have a lot of extra wires and things that I probably won't need. Well, I'm not really sure what I'm feeling right now. Have you ever been excited and bored at the same time? That's how I feel. I have watched hundreds, no exaggeration, hundreds of van life videos. I've watched so many people sleep in their vans, and I've never done it. This is the first time, for sure, for me. I realize it's not exciting for you to watch. I'm not, by Niagara Falls. I'm not near a lake. I'm not near a beach. I'm not in the mountains. I'm not anywhere. I haven't even left home. But I gotta prove to myself that I can do it. And if I can do it here, I can do it somewhere else. So it's 11 o'clock now, and I've really... The excitement has worn off, and now I feel like this is almost a Blair Witch view. I'm like, oh, I'm so scared. Yeah, I think I'm ready to just lay down. I've got the max air blowing inward. I had it on 100%, and now it's borderline chilly in here. It feels great. I'm looking at the Fakery battery. It's only down to 98%, and this has been running for almost an hour. So I lowered it down to, I think I just said 70%. It's drawing 17 watts, so it would last for a week at this pace. So when I came out here, it was so hot that I thought I was going to have to start shedding layers of clothing, and I actually did bring a blanket and a sheet, and now I'm kind of thinking I might throw the sheet over me. So anyway, guess I'm just gonna get stuff ready for bed.
Sometimes I think to myself, how can I get more viewers on my YouTube channel? And what I came up with is showing an old man going to sleep in a van in his own driveway. I don't know that that's going to help me at this point, but anyway, I'll speed this up a little bit. But basically, this is me adjusting pillows and pulling up the sheet and nestling in for a wonderful night of sleep in my own driveway.
my big takeaways so far, having done van life now for 1 hour, is there's I mean, this is mostly an empty van, right? I've got a bed in here, I've got a TV tray, I've got a few things that I brought in here, right? But the what I'm noticing is that there's like all the things you think of in your house, like a place to hang your hat, a place to put your keys, a place to put your wallet. I don't have any of those spots here, and of course, you know, if when this gets finished, I'll have a bench across from me, or a shelf dresser kind of area, you know, where you can put things. But it's just I don't have a trash sack. Like, I've got trash from that protein bar. I don't have. I've already lost one of the puck lights. I had to track it down and figure out what I did with it. So that's the thing. Is just I've already lost things twice. You would think that sitting in, you know, essentially 50, 60 square foot wouldn't be that easy to lose things, but I've lost things twice. One of the puck lights, when I came in, when I slammed the sliding door, the puck light fell off the metal ceiling, rolled underneath the bed, and then fell magnet side down. So it went as far back as it could possibly go and then stuck to the metal with the magnet. So you couldn't just nudge it out. You had to you had to get in there and reach all the way in there and pluck it off the metal. So yeah, that's my takeaway so far, is just a lack right now. I mean, obviously part of that is compounded by the fact that there's no dresser or a sink area or anything over there yet. But yeah, that's really the takeaway. There's just a complete lack of places to put stuff. Also, I've been laying here for 2 minutes, and I'm thinking that I may put my head at the other end down there, just so that my head is underneath the fan. I think that will do two things. One, I think I'll actually be more comfortable, because right now my feet feel great, but my head's a little warm. So I think I will lay at the other end. And the other thing is, it's going to provide that kind of white noise to help go to sleep. So I think that's what I'll do. So here we go. Good night. Night one. There's a bug in here. I just saw a mosquito or something. God. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
Now, as I mentioned earlier, I typically fall asleep with movies or television shows playing on my tablet, which normally sits next to my bed. I decided to put on some Unsolved Mysteries. If you don't use Pluto TV, it is a free streaming service, and they have a 24-hour-a-day Unsolved Mysteries channel, which I normally watch when I'm going to bed. It's probably not the best idea to watch murder true crime shows when you're falling asleep outside in your van for the first time, but it turned out okay. I also typically sleep with earbuds in. That's a habit I got into while sleeping in noisy hotels. But really, the sound of the Max Air fan drowned out the outside noise, and I decided not to use earbuds at all.
6 hours later.
Well, there's good news and there's bad news. So, good morning. I'm alive. That's the good news. let's see. It's 5:14 in the morning. So I think I went to sleep around 11-ish, and woke up 2 minutes ago. So 6 hours of sleep is actually pretty good for me, to be honest with you. I don't sleep a lot. I've never slept 8 hours. I rarely sleep 7 hours. I usually sleep around 6 hours, so that's pretty good. Number one, let's take a... Well, let's sorry, I'm trying to organize my thoughts here. I see a lot of van life people starting videos and they wake up and they go, "Hi, welcome to van life." And I literally just woke up. I'm trying to capture this experience for posterity's sake. I got a cramp in my back. We're going to talk about that. Okay. So first things first. This mattress sucks. I ordered, if you watch the video, I ordered foam for upholstery foam. And there were multiple choices when I ordered it. I ordered it off of Amazon, and I ordered the firmest firm. It was called Firm. There was one called Semi-Firm, which I did not order. I ordered Firm. I would say there's truth in advertising. It's frickin' Firm. I had multiple dreams. I had a long dream about my mom helping me sew something to make this less firm. So if you're dreaming about your mattress being too firm, it's too firm. That's really the worst thing of the night. I mean, if we're talking about good, bad, whatever, that would be the bad side, was that this mattress is too firm. Also, the bed that I made, I see a lot of people on their videos talking about parking level and this and that. My driveway is relatively level, I think, but what I think is that I don't think my bed's level. I think the back is higher than the front. So I was constantly like a wiener on a rotisserie trying to roll uphill to stay to that side of the bed, because I was constantly sliding this way out. So the bed's good. It's not great. If this mattress were a little softer, then this thing would be. I mean, as far as the bed goes, it'd be ready for getting a show on the road. But I got to do something about this mattress. Maybe I can put a soft topper on top of it. And if not, I may have to order that semi-firm mattress, because this was a lot like sleeping on a board. Now let's talk about some other logistics things. I almost always sleep on my left shoulder, my left-hand side. I'm a side sleeper and I sleep on my left side, which gives me two sleeping configurations. I can put my head down at this end of the bed. I can put my head down at this end of the bed. That's obvious. If I sleep with this end, with my head at this end, my face is facing in towards the mattress, which I don't mind at all. I've actually told friends that I don't mind sleeping on couches. I don't, So, not that I sleep on couches very often in my life anymore, but yeah, so I don't mind that. But here's the thing: is that I brought my tablet, because a lot of times, and most nights, in my sticks and bricks home, which is 20 feet that way, I fall asleep watching shows on my tablet. And so the Max Air fan is on this end. It's right here on the right. And so let me back up. The Max Air fan, when I put it on exhaust, I have the front windows cracked half an inch, somewhere in there. And when I had it on exhaust, I just couldn't feel any. I couldn't feel a draft. I couldn't feel any difference. Maybe the windows need to be opened more to get a bigger draft. But I had the Max Air fan on 100% on exhaust mode, and I had those windows cracked, and I just didn't feel a breeze or anything in here. When I reversed the Max Air fan to blow air in, it was wonderful in here. It was great. So that's what I did. And in fact, I right before I laid down, I had it down to like 70%. And then I think I even adjusted it down a little bit. And then about, 2 in the morning, it started getting a little cool, and I reached up and turned it off. By the way, I had a list of lessons that I learned. And the very first thing was, my back hurts so bad. The very first thing was when I got out here, and I tried to set this up just like if I were camping in a parking lot, right? The first thing is when I got out here, the Max Air fan batteries on the remote were dead. I didn't check it. I haven't used them in a long time. They didn't work. So I had to fumble around with the controls on the Max Air fan itself, which is not difficult. But it was my first time using those controls and trying to do it in the dark with these puck lights, and the phone flashlight. So anyway, back to the sleeping thing. So with the breeze coming out of the Max Air fan, it was great, but that required me to put my head at that end of the bed. Sorry, I'm going to move the camera here, which is not really professional, but. So I moved my head to this end down here, and because I'm sleeping on my left-hand side, that put my face to the wall, which this mattress here means I couldn't put my tablet. So I did balance my tablet up here, which, this is $100-something tablet. I mean, it's not if it broke, it would not be the end of the world. I wouldn't be happy, but I wouldn't be devastated. So I had it balanced up there, and so I could really just barely even see it. Here's another thing, is that many years ago for work, I used to travel quite a bit, and I slept at hotels, because that's what you do when you travel. That's what I used to do, now I'm van life. And I had many nights where I couldn't sleep because there were loud kids in the hotel, or people next to me that were loud, or above me that were loud. And those are just the people in my room. So look at that, dad jokes at 5 in the morning. Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated still. But just on that note, I will say that I spent a lot of time, I didn't anticipate this, I spent a lot of time fumbling around in the dark looking for stuff. I misplaced my glasses at one point. And then another time, the glasses, I had them perched on the back of the bed here, and they fell off the back of the bed and in between the crack between the two mattresses, and then in between the two slats and down on the metal van floor. A lot of things spent time on the van floor that I had not anticipated. So that was something I didn't figure was going to happen. So anyway, yeah, I couldn't lay and watch TV in bed like I had wanted to, and so that would be. I would say in general, I didn't like in my head. I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about where things are going to go, but having spent one night here. My fakery battery is down on the ground, which is all fine and good. Oh, I got to see how much I used overnight. But that big on the ground is great until you got to plug something in and find the plug. And again, doing it in the dark and for the first time, and I couldn't find the little switches. So I just used the flashlight on my phone an awful lot last night. Also, I didn't know this, that the Max Air fan, apparently, while it has power, there's a green LED that I woke up twice and thought I was looking at a space shuttle or something, because it's like literally the green LED is in the ceiling and my head's right, more or less right underneath it. So there was that. And also, I'm right next to my house, in between my workshop and the house, there's a gate for a wooden, not a picket fence, but a big wooden fence. And I think my kids around midnight must have, when I say my kids, they are adult teenagers, must have gone out for a fourth meal or something last night because I heard the gate slam. So that's really the only thing that made it where it wasn't completely silent, quiet. The fan noise was great. I really enjoyed sleeping with the fan noise on. And that's the other thing I was going to say is that to come back around, when I slept in hotels, I got into the habit of sleeping with the earbuds in because just to drown out noise, and I do it at home. So my wife does not like to sleep with the TV on. So I bought this tablet, and I put the tablet on my end table next to my side of the bed. And when we go to bed, she falls asleep. And I put on TV shows or movies or things, just stuff to fall asleep to. And I have it running, and I put in earbuds and I listen to the shows. Well, in the van, I mean, obviously, if you're trying to be stealth in a parking lot, I mean, I'll have to do tests to see how loud you can watch TV without being able to hear it from outside the van. But I didn't find the need to wear the earbuds. I just put on this app. There's an app called Pluto TV. There's a lot of them, but Pluto is one that's free, and they stream old TV shows and stuff 24/7. And I put on Unsolved Mysteries, which probably is not the best thing to fall asleep to your first time in a van. I had a dream that Robert Stack was trying to solve my murder. Yeah, so let's see. Oh, let's take a look at I'm going to have to move this. I've got a lot of things propped. Like, I've got this light, and I have my phone there because the light's round. It'll roll off the table, so I put the light there just for recording. Let's take a look at what the fakery says for my battery. It's at 70% remaining, and it was 99% when I came out last night. So it used 30% of my battery, and that was to run my CPAP all night, which the CPAP is the motor isn't what gets you on that of running the CPAP. It's the humidifier, which is basically a heater for the water. So that ran 30%. And then I ran the fan 2/3 of the night on 70%. So the fan and that were 70 or so that was at 70%. The CPAP ran for 6 hours, and between the two, it used 30% of the battery. So that's not bad. That tells me that now that's not, I didn't have to charge any of my devices, obviously, right? Because I just came out, for one night. My phone's still fully charged. My tablet's still fully charged. I didn't use the game system. Obviously in a real type scenario, there are things I'd have to charge starting with that battery, but I could get away with a couple nights, two nights, and maybe 3 nights without charging the battery if I just used it for the CPAP and for the fan. So it might not be true because I might use the fan during the day as well if I were hanging out in here. One other I haven't spent any time on this as a chair, as a seat before. This is my first time. So 2 things. Number one, I built the mattresses to be an exact fit. So that the bed frame is 30 inches. This mattress is 24 inches wide. This one is 6 inches thick. So it's exactly 30 inches and 30 inches. Well, it is exactly 30 inches, and the frame is exactly 30 inches. Which means as my legs are hanging over, occasionally when I scoot around, the back of my legs scrape on the wood. And there's sharp edges all up and down this thing. So either the mattress needs to be an extra inch so there's some hangover on there, or I need to put a front piece on the front of the bed, for where the back of your calves are. I think what I'm going to do is just lay my head back down here. I'm not going to put my CPAP back on. Oh, the other thing I'll mention is that I brought out a blanket and I brought out a sheet, and I didn't need anything more than the sheet last night. But again, that's it couldn't be any better weather for doing this my first time. It was 80 degrees last night. Let's take a look and see what the weather is right now. 66, and in here it's probably 70. I don't know. I mean, it was just ideal weather, and so I just used I used the sheet all night. I didn't even use the blanket. So for a dry run, I'm gonna say thumbs up. And speaking of dry, the bet was not that that I wouldn't leave the van. The bet was that I wouldn't go in my workshop or go in the house for further resources. That was the actual bet, that I would stay. So, if you were camping in a parking lot, in theory, you could leave your car. You just can't go inside, right? You can't go in your house to go get something. And so I did go pee in my bushes. I did not bring anything to go to I started making a list. Oh, that's something else we could talk about here. I only wrote down a couple things. But I started making a list of things I wish I had brought. And then I only put 4 things on here. I said, number 1, something to spit in. I'm not like a Major League Baseball player. Like, I'm not known for spitting. But last night when I was getting ready for bed, I was kind of like clearing my throat. And then all of a sudden, I had a need to spit. And I was like, there's nowhere in my vehicle I could spit. I had to go get up here, open the sliding door, and spit outside. So not that I would, if I had a van, I do have a van, but if I were out on a trip, I wouldn't be like, oh man, I forgot, we got to go to the store. I forgot to get something to spit in. But, if I had a sink or something like that, I probably would have spit in the sink. So, or if I had a bottle to pee in, which, I could also spit in it. Although I don't think I want a bottle that I might pee in that close to my mouth. So, anyway, those are 2 things on my list. I knew that I was not going to go to the bathroom in here last night. That was not part of the plan, so I'm okay with that. And then I wrote down trash bag, which, just a little plastic bag that I have somewhere in here to hang and put trash in, because I had the wrapper from my protein bar. Now I'm going to have either this empty Ziploc baggie with some grapes or whatever. But yeah, I can see trash already. I'm not even really doing this right now, and I could see the trash being a problem. The other thing I would say is I have in my workshop some metal magnetic hooks, and I think I would put about 6 of those in here. If I don't have permanently installed hooks, I'd have some magnetic hooks, because I'd hang a trash bag from it. I'd hang a hat from it. I'd hang my keys from it. Whatever, just to get stuff to where it would be in a spot that you could roll back and find. So, those are kind of my takeaways right now. I'm a little bit more awake. So I guess I'm just going to play on my phone and kill some time until 6. I'm actually going to lay back down, and if I closed my eyes for another 10 or 15 minutes, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So, but I'm going to say we're going to mark this as a success. We're going to mark this as, if I had to, I could sleep in this van. I could go sleep in this van. I would probably take some Advil for my back in the morning. Or put down a topper or something on this mattress. That's going to be my issue. That's going to be the thing I've got to address. But other than that, I feel pretty good. Like here's the thing. I did not just climb Mount Everest, right? Like, I'm not saying that. I did not go on a camping expedition. I didn't do anything. But you know what I did? Is for the first time I just slept in this van. Like, it just became real to me. Like, the door, it's not like the door is open and I just went running through the door. But you know what I did was I tested my toe in the water, and the water's okay. The water's going to be all right. God, I almost just cried. The water's going to be all right. I'm going to do this. I'm really going to do this. All right. Here's the final setup. Again, there was the TV tray, there was the tablet, the water, my keys, there's the GoPro over there. There's the old fakery battery. And there's the front of the workshop right there, and it is about 10 after 6. So, yay. We made it. Wasn't that hard. Oh, also, that's that's the hero story right there. That thing was great. Also, these puck lights did okay. These were, I think, I got 6 of these for $20. They recharge with USB-C, and they got a little touch button on the side of them here. So this is tuned way down. So if you touch it, it goes to white light, blue light, and then kind of this yellowy orange light, and then back off. And let's go to the blue light. And then if you hold down the side, it fades. Of course, they all look pretty bright, when you're zooming the camera right into them. But yeah, you can kind of dim them like that a little bit to give some kind of ambient light in here. But the ambient light right now is coming from the sun, baby. 6 in the morning. Hey, so it's been a few hours since I wrapped everything up. I'm actually working from home today, so I've been inside just doing my regular job, and now it's my lunch break. So I thought I would come back out here and just talk for just a couple of minutes to wrap things up. I got a great night's sleep. I woke up this morning, I felt really refreshed. I felt like, other than having a just terrible aching back from this mattress, I felt great. And then I went inside and I sat down on the recliner and I fell asleep for an hour. Why is that when I felt so good? Well, I think what it is was there was just some stress involved in doing this for the first time. And I mean, this isn't like rock climbing or something. It's literally sleeping in your own driveway in a vehicle. So there shouldn't have been any stress. There was a little stress, worried, would the neighbors look over and see what I was doing, or would my kids come out and try to scare me, bang on the van or something. So there was a little bit, but not anything real, But I think it was just the worry that something would go wrong. And I think that the more that you do van life camping, sleeping in your car, I think you get more used to that. You get over that initial fear that something's gonna go wrong. And then you just, when something goes wrong, then you just deal with it at that point. That's my plan anyway. So I've come back out again during my lunch break to empty out the stuff that's sitting in the car, the stuff I left in here. And it was a success. And I'll tell you this. So the 2 things. Number 1, my wife has suggested that I get a mattress topper for these mattresses instead of just sending them back or trying to find another use for them. She said maybe we can find a foam, maybe like a 1-inch or 2-inch mattress topper to go on top of that. There's the air conditioner. So that would be good. And the other thing is, obviously, I've got to get some window coverings. I don't have any covering this for the back windows here, but with a curtain in the front covering some of these back windows and something a little bit better on the mattress. That's the only thing preventing me from going out. So I'm not going to stop working on the van. I'm not going to, I mean, the next I've got to start on this cabinet on the side and figure out what I'm going to do with the flooring. And also, you know, obviously I'm going to need some insulation, some wall stuff. So this was just kind of a temporary setup as a test. But so I'm going to continue working on that. But in reality, I can use this van right now. It's very primitive. There's not a lot of bells and whistles. And the only lights and power sources and things like that that I have are the things that I take with me. But it is definitely doable. This is the world's most horribly lit shot. It is exactly 12. The sun is directly overhead, so this is lit more like a horror movie than a van life video, so I apologize for that. But here we are. I survived, and next week it'll be on to the next adventure. Thank you so much. Why am I doing this pose? What is this? I'm stupid. I'm stupid.